Most people think health problems start with a dramatic moment, a heart scare, a diagnosis, or some sudden collapse that forces them to finally pay attention. But the truth is, serious health decline almost never begins that way. It starts quietly. It starts with little things that seem harmless on the surface. A little fatigue in the afternoon, a few more headaches than usual, trouble falling asleep, or changes in your appetite or weight that don't quite make sense. You tell yourself it's stress, hormones, maybe even just getting older. But deep down, something feels off. And you're right. Because these aren't just random changes. They're messages, early alerts from your body that something isn't working the way it should. Unfortunately, most people are never taught to recognize them, so they normalize the dysfunction. They learn to tolerate the tiredness, accept the discomfort, and before they know it, their quality of life has dropped without them even realizing it. The scariest part is, once the big symptoms show up, once the blood tests come back, the medication is prescribed, or the diagnosis is made, it's often much harder to reverse the damage. But if you catch the signs early, you give yourself a powerful advantage. You can course correct. You can rebuild. You can even prevent what most people think is inevitable. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through 7 early warning signs your body gives you before a serious health decline. The exact things that tend to show up first, long before a major issue ever gets a name. These signs are subtle, but if you know what to look for, they could be the key to adding years of strength, clarity, and vitality to your life. We welcome you, our seniors, to our channel. Take a moment to support us by hitting the subscribe button, like, comment, and share so that other elders can see this and take action before it's too late. Let's dive in. Sign number 1. Energy that disappears. Even when you're doing nothing. Let's be honest, we all expect to slow down a little as we age. But what no one really prepares you for is the kind of fatigue that shows up even when you've done absolutely nothing to earn it. It's not the kind of tired that comes after a long hike or a full day of work. It's the kind of tired that's waiting for you the moment you open your eyes in the morning, and it stays with you all day. You didn't run a marathon. You didn't pull an all-nighter. You may have even slept 7, 8, or 9 hours. But it's like your battery never really charges anymore. And by early afternoon, you're reaching for caffeine, sugar, or something, anything, just to stay upright. You push through, because that's what you've always done. But deep down, you know something's not right. Here's the hard truth. That kind of exhaustion isn't normal. It's not a natural part of aging. It's not just life catching up with you. What you're experiencing is often the first sign that your body's internal systems, the ones responsible for generating and sustaining energy, are breaking down under pressure. At the root of this issue are your mitochondria, tiny energy factories inside almost every cell in your body. These are what power your brain, your muscles, your heart, your metabolism, even your mood. When your mitochondria are healthy and functioning at full capacity, you wake up feeling refreshed, alert, and ready to take on the day. But when they become sluggish due to stress, inflammation, poor nutrition, toxic exposure, or disrupted sleep, your cells can no longer produce energy efficiently. And here's where it gets dangerous. When your energy production drops, your entire body suffers. You're not just tired, you're in metabolic decline. That means slower recovery, weaker immunity, reduced cognitive function, and even hormonal imbalance. This isn't about being lazy or out of shape, it's about your cells starving for fuel. Yet most people never connect the dots. They write it off as age, or they try to fight through it with more coffee, more snacks, more rest when they can get it. But that's like putting a bandage on a leak in a dam. You're not solving the problem, just postponing the fallout. And let's be real, you can't enjoy life when you're exhausted all the time. You start skipping the things you love. You cancel plans, avoid social situations, and lose your motivation. It affects your relationships, your confidence, and your quality of life. Eventually, it becomes your new normal. And that's exactly what we want to stop. The good news is this: fatigue is reversible when caught early. With the right nutrients, movement, and mitochondrial support, many people see their energy come roaring back, sometimes in just a few weeks. But you have to recognize the warning before the damage becomes chronic. Now, If you've been feeling this kind of deep, unexplainable fatigue lately, especially if it's getting worse over time, take it seriously, because it's rarely just tiredness. It's your body asking for help, and it usually doesn't travel alone. That's why the next warning sign is so important, and most people ignore it until it starts messing with something they depend on every single day, their brain. Sign number 2, brain fog and memory lapses that weren't there before. It starts small. You walk into a room and forget why you went there. You lose your train of thought mid-sentence. You struggle to recall the name of someone you just met, or worse, someone you've known for years. You laugh it off. Call it a senior moment. You even joke with friends about having too many tabs open in your brain. But beneath the humor, there's fear. Because deep down, you wonder, is this how it starts? Is this the early edge of something more serious? Here's what no one tells you. Your brain doesn't just suddenly decline. It erodes slowly and silently over time. And for many people, brain fog and short-term memory issues are some of the first signs of underlying inflammation, poor circulation, or nutrient deficiencies that, if left unchecked, can lead to long-term cognitive decline. You might notice you're reading the same sentence multiple times without absorbing it. You struggle to focus on tasks that once came easily. Conversations feel like a mental workout, and your words don't come as quickly as they used to. It's subtle but incredibly frustrating, and in some cases, terrifying. What's really happening behind the scenes is that your brain isn't getting the fuel it needs. Poor sleep, blood sugar imbalances, lack of key nutrients like B12, omega-3s and magnesium, and chronic inflammation all begin to choke off the brain's ability to function efficiently. Neurons start misfiring, information processing slows down, your memory storage gets glitchy, and because it doesn't happen all at once, because there's no dramatic moment where everything falls apart, people ignore it. They think it's just part of aging or a side effect of stress. But over time this fog deepens, and in many cases it's the precursor to much more serious conditions, like mild cognitive impairment, dementia, or even Alzheimer's. But here's the encouraging part. Brain fog is not a life sentence. In fact, in many cases, it's your brain's way of warning you before the real damage begins. And if you catch it early, you can reverse it. You can rebuild mental clarity, sharpen your focus, and restore your memory. But only if you take it seriously now. Think about it. Your brain is the control center for your entire life. It's how you experience the world, connect with others, solve problems, and remember the moments that matter. When it starts to falter, even a little, everything feels harder. And if you've started to notice this kind of mental fatigue or forgetfulness creeping in, that's not something to ignore. That's your body waving a red flag. And now here's where it gets even more interesting. Because the next warning sign isn't just about the brain or the body. It's about your skin, the largest organ you have. And how changes there can reveal exactly what's going wrong inside. Sign number 3. Skin changes that reveal what's happening internally. Most people think of the skin as just a cosmetic layer, something you moisturize, maybe protect from the sun, and try to keep looking youthful. But your skin is actually the largest organ in your body. And when it starts to change, even subtly, it's often a sign that something inside is off. You might notice your skin getting thinner, drier, or more fragile than it used to be. Maybe bruises appear more easily, or wounds take longer to heal. Perhaps your complexion looks dull, your elasticity is fading, or age spots are appearing faster than you expected. These changes are often chalked up to normal aging. But the truth is, your skin is a mirror of what's happening at the cellular level. When your body is inflamed, your skin shows it. When your hormones, especially estrogen, testosterone, or cortisol, start to shift out of balance, your skin responds. When you're deficient in key nutrients like collagen, zinc, vitamin C, or essential fatty acids, it's your skin that sends up the first visible red flags. And here's something few people realize. Your skin is a detox organ. When your liver, kidneys, or gut are overburdened, your skin steps in to help. And it shows. Rashes, breakouts, redness, and even sudden discoloration can all be your body's way of pushing internal stress to the surface because the main systems can't keep up. Let's take dryness, for example. Sure, it might be the weather. But persistent dry skin, especially if it's paired with fatigue or brain fog, can point to issues with hydration at the cellular level or poor absorption of essential fats. Thinning skin? That can be a sign of low collagen production or declining sex hormones. Slow wound healing? Often tied to blood sugar imbalances or chronic inflammation, quietly disrupting tissue repair. And while these may not sound alarming on their own, here's the key. They're early signs. If you wait until your joints hurt, your bones weaken, or your digestion shuts down, you've missed the body's whisper. Skin changes are often the first visible evidence that your internal systems are struggling, and they give you a chance to intervene before real damage sets in. What's even more powerful is this: when you start healing your body from the inside, supporting your gut, your liver, your hormones, and your nutrition, your skin often transforms right along with it. People report glowing skin, stronger nails, fewer breakouts, better tone and elasticity. Not from expensive creams, but from giving the entire body what it actually needs. So the next time you look in the mirror and notice something's changed, and it doesn't feel quite right, pay attention. Your body isn't trying to embarrass you, it's trying to alert you. And that leads us directly to the next critical warning sign. One that shows up in your digestion and holds more power over your health than most people realize. Sign number 4, digestive irregularities. Gas, bloating, and bathroom changes you shouldn't ignore. Let's get real. Nobody likes to talk about digestion. It's uncomfortable, sometimes even embarrassing. But if you've reached a point where your gut is unpredictable, where you're constantly bloated, irregular, or uncomfortable after meals, your body isn't being shy, it's begging for your attention. The problem is that most people dismiss these symptoms as harmless. A little bloating after lunch? Normal. Constipation for a day or two? No big deal. Loose stools every now and then? Probably just something you ate. But here's the truth. Your gut is the command center of your health. And when it starts acting up, something much bigger is brewing beneath the surface. Let me paint the picture. You finish a meal and suddenly feel heavy, sluggish, and puffy. Your stomach swells like a balloon. You find yourself unbuttoning your pants just to breathe easier. Or you can't remember the last time you had a consistent bathroom schedule. Maybe it's gas, maybe it's cramping, or maybe you just feel off. Not sick, but not right either. This is not just your digestive system being sensitive. It's often a sign of inflammation, poor gut microbiome balance, or a compromised intestinal lining. And that's a slippery slope. When your digestion breaks down, your body stops absorbing nutrients the way it should. That means even if you're eating well, you might still be starving your cells. You could be low on magnesium, iron, B vitamins, or omega-3s, and never know it. Over time, this leads to fatigue, brain fog, mood issues, weak immunity, even autoimmune triggers. And let's talk about the gut-brain axis, the powerful communication network between your digestive system and your brain. When your gut is inflamed or imbalanced, your mental clarity, mood, and even memory suffer. That gut feeling you sometimes ignore, it's more than intuition. It's biochemical. If your digestion is disrupted, chances are your brain function is too. Now here's something most people miss. These issues often start mild. A little reflux here, a bit of bloating there. But as time goes on, they become constant. And because it happens gradually, people adapt. They carry Tums in their bag. They know which foods will set them off. They start avoiding meals out. But adaptation doesn't mean healing. It means your body is working around a dysfunction, not fixing it. And if you ignore it long enough, the gut wall starts to break down, a condition called leaky gut, allowing toxins and food particles to escape into the bloodstream, triggering inflammation throughout the body. This is how small digestive issues evolve into joint pain, allergies, skin conditions, autoimmune diseases, and chronic fatigue. But here's the good news. The gut is one of the most responsive systems in the body. When you give it what it needs, fiber, hydration, enzymes, probiotics, rest, healing can be dramatic. Bloating vanishes, bathroom habits stabilize, energy returns, even mood improves. It doesn't take magic. It just takes recognition and consistency. So if your gut is acting up, don't ignore it. Don't write it off as just something you ate, because more often than not, it's one of the earliest signs that something deeper is going wrong. And if you listen to it now, you might just prevent something far worse later. And speaking of things people overlook, the next warning sign isn't just about your belly or your brain. It's about something that changes your entire physical structure. And if you miss it, it can accelerate aging faster than almost anything else. Sign number 5. Loss of muscle tone or strength. Even if your weight hasn't changed, you step on the scale and see the same number you've seen for years. Maybe it's gone up a pound or two, maybe down. But nothing that feels dramatic, so you assume everything's fine. But what if I told you that your weight can stay the same while your body composition silently crumbles beneath the surface? This is one of the most deceptive and dangerous warning signs of early health decline. Muscle loss, also known as sarcopenia. It doesn't happen overnight. It sneaks in slowly, subtly. Your arms feel a little softer, your grip isn't as strong. Getting out of a low chair or climbing stairs takes more effort than it used to. Lifting groceries feels like a mini workout. You brush it off. Blame age or the weather or being out of shape. But here's the truth. If you're losing muscle, even if the scale says you're stable, you're aging faster than you think. Muscle is not just about looking fit. It's your metabolic engine. It's what keeps your blood sugar stable, your joints protected, your bones strong, and your immune system resilient. And after the age of 30, most people lose 3 to 8% of their muscle mass every decade. And that pace accelerates after 50, especially if you're not actively doing something about it. Here's what that really means. Less strength, slower metabolism, more fat accumulation, poorer insulin sensitivity, weaker balance, increased fall risk, and even brain decline. Because the relationship between muscle and the brain is direct. The weaker your muscles, the weaker the signals your nervous system sends and receives. It's all connected. And the worst part? Most people don't notice the muscle loss until it's already causing problems. That's because your body is smart. It compensates. You shift your weight when you walk, you grab the railing without thinking, you take the elevator instead of the stairs, you adapt. But those adaptations come at a cost. Suddenly, you're more tired doing basic activities. Your posture slumps. Your core weakens, putting pressure on your back and hips. You become less mobile, less agile, and more vulnerable to injury. A simple fall could break a bone. A minor illness knocks you out for a week. Your resilience fades, even though your weight hasn't changed. But here's the good news. Unlike some forms of aging, muscle loss is highly reversible, even in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. With the right kind of resistance training, adequate protein intake, and targeted recovery, you can rebuild what you've lost. You can increase your energy, sharpen your mind, and turn your body into a strong, stable, metabolically active system again. And here's the most powerful truth. Maintaining or regaining muscle doesn't just make you stronger, it literally extends your life. Studies have shown that muscle mass is one of the strongest predictors of longevity and quality of life as we age. So if you've noticed you're not as strong as you used to be, if simple tasks feel harder, or if your limbs feel softer despite staying active, don't ignore it. That's not just aging. That's your body waving a flag and giving you a choice. And now we shift gears. Because the next warning sign doesn't show up in your limbs or your gut, it shows up in your cravings. The ones that seem harmless, but could be signs of something far more serious going on inside. Sign number 6. Cravings or aversions that signal deeper issues. You've probably had that moment where you suddenly crave a specific food, something salty, sweet, or even something you haven't eaten in years. It's almost like your body is telling you it needs something. But what if that craving isn't just for the food? What if it's actually a warning signal from your body? At first glance, food cravings might seem harmless. In fact, most people shrug them off, dismissing them as nothing more than a simple indulgence or an emotional response. But when cravings become persistent, or when they start for foods that don't seem to make sense, it's worth paying attention. These seemingly random desires may point to deeper issues like nutrient deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, or even chronic stress that your body is silently battling. For instance, a sudden, insatiable craving for salty foods might indicate that your body is struggling with dehydration, low sodium, or adrenal fatigue. You might think it's just your body being in the mood for chips or fries. But the reality is that your adrenal glands, which help regulate stress and fluid balance, could be sending you a distress signal. Your body could be crying out for sodium because it's losing too much water or not maintaining electrolyte balance. Ignoring these cravings over time could lead to more serious adrenal issues or increased stress hormones that disrupt your energy, mood, and overall health. On the other hand, if you're constantly craving sugar, it's often linked to blood sugar imbalances, insulin resistance, or even low serotonin levels. When your body doesn't process sugar efficiently, your brain signals for more to get a quick energy boost. But this cycle becomes a vicious loop. More sugar consumption leads to more instability in your blood sugar levels, making the cravings even more intense and harder to control. This can set you up for weight gain, poor energy regulation, and a higher risk for conditions like type 2 diabetes or metabolic syndrome. If you find yourself reaching for sugary snacks every afternoon, your body could be telling you it's struggling with insulin sensitivity. And the deeper you get into that cycle, the harder it becomes to break. But cravings aren't just about too much of something. They can also be linked to deficiencies in essential vitamins and minerals. Craving chocolate, for example, might indicate that your body is low on magnesium, a mineral that's crucial for over 300 biochemical reactions in your body, from muscle function to brain health. It's not a coincidence that many people experience these cravings when they're stressed, as magnesium is also vital for managing stress and anxiety. Your body isn't just asking for a treat, it's asking for a nutrient that's critical for balancing your nervous system and your overall well-being. Then there are the aversions, the opposite side of the cravings coin. Maybe you used to love eating certain foods, but now they make you feel nauseous or just plain disgusted. Or perhaps you've suddenly developed a sensitivity to foods you've eaten for years. Food aversions are often a sign of digestive distress or food intolerances, which can develop as you age or as your body becomes more sensitive to certain ingredients. It could also signal a hormonal imbalance where changes in estrogen or progesterone levels are affecting your taste preferences and sensitivities. Here's the thing about cravings and aversions. They're like your body's early warning radar. When you ignore them, you risk making the underlying problem worse. It's like the flashing check engine light in your car. If you keep driving without checking it, the problem could escalate to something much worse, costing you more time, money, and energy down the line. The good news is that these cravings and aversions are often reversible. By addressing the underlying issue, whether that's balancing blood sugar, replenishing key nutrients, or getting to the root of hormonal imbalance, you can reset your cravings, bring your body back into alignment, and feel more in control of your health. If you're noticing that your food preferences have changed dramatically, or that cravings are suddenly taking over your diet, consider it a call to action. Don't just give in to them. Pay attention to what they might be trying to tell you about your body's internal state, because they could be a critical part of your health journey. And now, as we get closer to uncovering the final signs, we need to address something even more profound: the way your sleep patterns have been shifting. Sleep disturbances are another red flag your body sends before more serious issues arise. Sign number 7, changes in sleep patterns. Why restlessness or poor sleep is a major warning. Think about your last night of sleep. How well did you rest? Did you wake up feeling refreshed, or did you toss and turn throughout the night, only to feel groggy and drained by morning? Sleep is the foundation of health. It's during sleep that your body repairs, restores, and regenerates. If your sleep cycle is disturbed, even slightly, it's not just annoying, it's a powerful signal that something deeper is happening within your body. Most people think that poor sleep is a result of stress or a busy life. And while that's true to some extent, the real question is, why is your body reacting to stress in this way? Why is your nervous system struggling to shut down and reset? The truth is, sleep disturbances often point to imbalances in your hormones, nervous system, and metabolism. And when they go unaddressed, it can accelerate the aging process. Let's talk about the most common sleep issues. Difficulty falling asleep. Laying in bed, staring at the ceiling, your mind racing. This isn't just about being wired or too busy. It could be a sign of elevated cortisol levels, the stress hormone that's meant to spike during the day to help you stay alert. But when it's elevated at night, it can keep you wide awake, even when you're exhausted. Chronic stress, poor diet, or hormonal imbalances can keep your cortisol levels from following a natural rhythm, resulting in restless nights and increased fatigue the next day. Next, we have waking up in the middle of the night, sometimes several times, and struggling to fall back asleep. This is another major clue. It often points to blood sugar imbalances. As your blood sugar dips during the night, your body can go into a fight-or-flight response, triggering a spike in cortisol and waking you up. If this becomes a regular pattern, it could indicate that your insulin levels are out of balance, your metabolism is sluggish, or you may be dealing with early signs of insulin resistance. A poor night's sleep isn't just annoying. It's a signal that your metabolic health needs attention before it escalates into something more serious. And then there's early morning waking, the 3 a.m. alarm bell that keeps you up when your mind is racing. This could be linked to hormonal shifts, especially if you're in the midst of perimenopause or menopause. As estrogen and progesterone levels fluctuate, they can affect your ability to stay asleep, making your sleep cycles more fragmented and restless. Poor sleep can also lead to a vicious cycle of stress and fatigue, causing mood swings, irritability, and cognitive fog. Finally, let's address feeling fatigued even after a full night's sleep. This is one of the clearest signs that your body isn't regenerating as it should. If you wake up and still feel drained, sluggish, or mentally foggy, it could mean that your deep sleep cycles are being disrupted. This could be due to inflammation, nutrient deficiencies, or underlying chronic conditions like sleep apnea, thyroid dysfunction, or hormonal imbalances. The real danger of sleep disturbances is that they don't just affect your energy. They affect everything else. Poor sleep has been linked to a higher risk of heart disease, diabetes, depression, and cognitive decline. It disrupts the repair processes in your body, affects your immune system, and even alters your mood and mental clarity. It is the canary in the coal mine for numerous other health issues, but the good news is that sleep can be restored with the right interventions. Improving sleep hygiene, addressing stress, balancing hormones, and supporting metabolic health can all help reset your sleep patterns. The key is to treat sleep disturbances as a wake-up call, an opportunity to address the underlying causes before they turn into something much worse. So, if your sleep isn't where it should be, don't brush it off as just stress or getting older. It's not just about the sleep itself. It's a signal that your body needs healing, and it's urging you to act before the consequences of poor sleep compound into more serious health issues. Now that we've reached the final warning sign, you can take control of your health. Each of these signs, from muscle loss to digestive issues to poor sleep, are your body's early alarms. They're not inevitable parts of aging. They are red flags that something isn't working as it should, and the power to turn it around is in your hands. You don't have to accept these signs as part of getting older. You can make changes today that set the course for better health tomorrow. If you've recognized any of these warning signs in your own body, it's time to take action. Talk to your doctor, look into lifestyle changes, and start making the decisions that will improve your health now, so you can age gracefully without the burden of preventable health issues. Your body is speaking. It's time to listen. You've just learned about 7 early warning signs your body may be sending you, signs that could help you avoid a serious health decline. Whether you're noticing muscle weakness, sleep disruptions, cravings, or anything else on the list, now is the time to take control of your health before it spirals out of hand. Don't wait until it's too late. Start with small, actionable steps today. Prioritize your health by taking a closer look at your lifestyle, habits, and nutrition. The first step might be as simple as drinking more water, cutting back on processed foods, or scheduling an appointment with your doctor to check your hormones or blood sugar. Every small change counts. The earlier you make adjustments, the easier it will be to restore balance and live a vibrant, healthy life. So what can you do right now? Take a moment to reflect on the warning signs we discussed today. How many of these are you experiencing? Are you ignoring any of them? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's start a conversation and help each other get on the path to better health. Also, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos in this series. You won't want to miss what's coming next, as we're about to dive into some of the most overlooked habits that may be sabotaging your health without you even knowing it.